Joining us now to review some of the headlines of today's newspapers from around the world is a Rice News analyst, Emmanuel Efeni. Good morning, Malabite.
Good morning, Ruben. Good morning, Ayo.
Good morning.
Yes, we start the review with this day, Nigeria's newspaper of record. The lead story, INEC, no acts of infraction substantial enough to nullify the 2023 presidential poll. Argues same constitutional provisions apply to states' FCT on 25% in 24 states. Insists Tinubu won. Article contends that election petitions put judiciary on trial. APC. Tribunal lacks necessary jurisdiction to entertain petition on Tinubu's qualification. Obi has no locus standard. Now, the case at the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal, INEC, of course, also a defendant in that the case brought by, the petition brought by Labour Party and the PDP, as well as two other parties, INEC defending the election it conducted on the 25th of February. And the arguments, clearly, of course, INEC, represented by Abubakar Mahmood, stating that beavers not designed for real-time results transmission for collation purposes. And, of course, went further to argue on the contentious, what has become contentious at the end of the day. By the time the courts ruled, the Supreme Court weigh in on this, then there will be clarity. And on that section 134, subsection 2 of the Constitution that talked about to win the presidential election, of course, the winner must score at least 25% of votes in 24 states of the Federation and the Federal Capital Territory. Yes, but INEC, through its lawyer, stating that the same 25% of 24 states constitutional requirement that apply to the states of the Federation apply to the Federal Capital Territory, thus insisting that Tinubu won the election. Well, I'm sure not everybody will agree with that, and that is why the court will adjudicate on this matter and bring closure to what that section really means at the end of this petition. Clearly, it will go all the way to the Supreme Court now. And the APC leadership also defending the victory of Bola Ahmed Tinubu very stoutly, insisting that contrary to Atiku's claim that the cancellation of 51,602 polling units altered the result, of course, the APC insisting that the election was conducted in substantial compliance with the Electoral Act 2022. And as such, Bola Ahmed Tinubu won. Yes, the arguments will be put forward, and at the end of the day, the justices will give their verdict. Nigerians are waiting. Of course, also on front page of this day, Chimamanda Buhari, INEC blew last chance to emerge Nigeria's heroes. Insists her critics deflecting focus on pertinent issues, deploying ethnicity. Says she respects Soyinka but disagrees with him on 2023 polls. Of course, Chimamanda Adichie, Nigeria's literary ambassador, a literary icon in her own right. Yes, after that letter she wrote to President Joe Biden. Of course, she was on Arise prime time yesterday defending her position. Yes, unfazed by criticisms from the supporters of Bola Ahmed Tinubu and the APC. And she's insisting that the excuse by INEC that there were technical glitches in real-time uploading of results as promised by INEC was unbelievable, and that it was done on purpose to manipulate the outcome of the election. And she said that most glaringly, evidence of the manipulation, of course, is the mutilated results that were uploaded in the IREV and that were announced. And of course, some obviously different from what was initially announced at the polling unit. Of course, Mamanda Adishe, that interview we'll see in the repeat in a short while. Now, other newspapers are reporting this story, what happened at the tribunal yesterday. The Punch newspaper, Tinubu won presidential poll, INEC tells tribunal. While the Nation newspaper, Atiku didn't meet conditions to win, INEC tells tribunal. Now, if we look at other stories, the Vanguard newspaper, APC looks to South-South, shops for Northwest deputy. Senators Goswill Akpabio, Jibrin Barau favor. Tinubu has final say on choices for the post, says source. As party is still making consultations, Akpabio very much in the race. Group, yes, Senator, Goswill Akpabio, former governor of Akwa Ibom State, former minister of Niger Delta Ministry, is also very much in the race, and his supporters are not leaving any stone unturned, as it were. But we'll see how it pans out. But for those who say that the opposition parties will not have a say in who becomes the next Senate president or the Speaker of the House of Representatives, they had better watch it, because they can just team up with an interest group within the APC and produce some leaders. But again, left to unfold the 10th National Assembly in the making. Now, the Nigerian Tribune newspaper, $460,000. Why Tinubu forfeited amount in US, APC tells court. Dismiss Obi Labour Party's petition. Now, just below the photograph, Buhari told me Amechi wanted wanted me sacked as NPAMD. Hadiza, former MD of the NPA. Of course, why he didn't forgive me over $70 million dredging contract. Ask her whether she can stand the truth, which will also come out in my book. Amechi replies. Of course, Hadiza Usman, ex-MD of NPA and former Minister of Transportation. Certainly, we've not heard the last of this spat between these two individuals. Now, the Daily Trust newspaper leaked audio. Federal government, ACF orders, blast Obi, clear yourself. Ohaneze challenges LP candidate. It's a ploy to divert attention from Obi's petition. Afenifere leader, Arewa leaders, one LP candidate against unguarded statement. Now, the Guardian newspaper, doctors demand salary review before May 29. UK counterparts begin strike over pay. National Association of Resident Doctors wants payment of review 2023 medical residency training fund. Admonishes rep on obnoxious bill sponsored by Johnson to summon next meeting in 2 weeks on next line of action. Yes, the doctors are not taking it lying low on that proposed bill to compel doctors trained in Nigeria to serve the country for 5 years, to work in the country for 5 years before they can jackpot, as it were. Now, if we look at the Business Day newspaper, Nigeria's manufacturing woes worsen joblessness. Now, the foreign newspapers quickly, the Times of London, Northern Irish peace is my priority, vows Biden. President Joe Biden touched down yesterday in Belfast at the beginning of his visit to Northern Ireland and, of course, the Republic of Ireland, where he will spend 4 days. Of course, he's insisting, saying that the peace and prosperity of Northern Ireland remains a commitment to which the U.S. is taking on very seriously. And, of course, he will be weighing in, spending half hour of diplomacy in Belfast before heading for Republic of Ireland.
And also, in the course of the visit, to Northern Ireland and the Republic of Ireland. You'll be meeting with distant relatives.
Yes, Biden is of Irish descent.
Yes, high profile because of the connection between Irish immigrants who had become prominent in the United States. But even more importantly, the peace deal, trade issues, post-Brexit, which has caused disagreements among political parties at the Stormont with the DUP, the Democratic Unionist Party, refusing to help form a government. Will they be in a position to help break the impasse? It remains to be seen. But the other issues you raised, we've discussed those ones during the headlines, so I don't want to repeat myself. But you refer to, Adiza Balawi's book, I think front page of Tribune.
Of Tribune.
Okay, here is the book.
Stepping on toes.
I started stepping on toes, my odyssey at the Nigerian Ports Authority. So thank you, Adiza, for sending a copy. You are very kind of you. And I'm sure the book will interest you. Flipping through it, she talks about gridlock, traffic congestion, in Apapa, and how she tried to handle it, and some of the issues that she had to deal with. So it's not just about Amechi and all that. There's a lot more from the outline that I've seen.
So we should be expecting Amechi's own version of the story of
He has the right to reply.
Of course. But he said he's also putting up his memoir.
Thank you very much, Emmanuel.
Thank you.